Welcome back to Sitting with Spirit, my loves. For those of you that are new to the podcast, this is a segment where I sit with Spirit and give the messages that will help the most people. So just know that a lot of people listen to this podcast. If the messages come through for the Spirit section with who's in Spirit and they don't resonate with you, that's okay. Don't make them fit. Resonance is one of the powerful tools in our spiritual toolbox to know what is for us and what isn't. And I would appreciate if you could send the message or the episode to somebody that you think would resonate or would help them in this moment. It means so much to me and also, I'm sure, the spirit world. So I did have a female past loved one stepping in today, and I get the feeling that they were being deliberately vague on evidence because they wanted more people to connect. So it feels like it's this group of sort of mother figures, mother energy that are stepping in really close because it feels like a lot of people need to be held right now. It feels like a lot of people are going through times of major transition and growth and fear and unknown. And like there's this universal feminine mother energy that is coming in to tell you you are held, you are supported, it's going to be okay. And so I felt like the female energy that kind of presented itself did one spirit like kind of stepped out first, and they were giving me this feeling of passing from a stroke. I also felt like the color green was really important to this person. She felt very gentle, and I know that's kind of, not super out of the box for a mother, but she felt very gentle, so loving. She felt like your safe place. And in this world where we can feel really unsafe, especially in times of unknown and transition, there's this feeling here of like, I'm not gone. Even though you feel like your safe space is gone, I'm still here. I'm still supporting you. I'm still holding space for you. I also felt like there's a significant ring of hers that you would wear or be attached to. And I saw an oval stone. And keep in mind, if some of this stuff resonates and some doesn't, it can be little winks from your loved ones in spirit. Just take whatever resonates. And she was showing up with a male past loved one who was a little more quiet and gruff and wasn't really talking to me. Like she definitely seemed like the caretaker energy, the lover energy. She kind of had this Libra energy of like smoothing everything together and weaving everyone in. And he felt kind of more quiet and gruff, and maybe like she would take care of him, and she's with him in spirit as well. But I saw her sending you an owl. An owl is my symbol for trusting your wisdom. Owl comes in a time where we need to see a bigger picture. The way they can turn their heads around almost 360 gives us new vantage points, new perspectives. And as a nocturnal animal, they come in times that feel dark or unknown so that they can help us navigate that. And so there was this message from this mother energy that's asking you to face your fears head on. There's something here about her soothing you and holding you and being your safe place, but at the same time, pushing you to navigate your fears head on because you are strong enough to confront them. You are strong enough to do that work. And like this universal mother energy is holding you through this big transformation and ultimately up level moment. And the message here is I see everything and I'm proud of you. So if you've been missing your mom or you feel like you need a boost of mother energy, like there is this mother figure just standing so close to you who sees you, who is proud of you, and who is guiding you, and who's just asking you to have faith, to walk through the darkness, to trust your wisdom, and to confront your fears head on. And you are stronger than you even know. And so transitioning now to the messages from our angels, the first thing I want to say kind of piggybacks off of the tangent that I was on in the beginning, which I was telling Claire, I'm not going to say anything. We're going to go right in like I was saying. And then all of a sudden I was like, boo, doo, doo, doo. Classic me. So the first thing I want to say is kind of a piggyback off of that, which is any relationship that you have to betray yourself to stay in is not worth it. Because ultimately what happens if you betray yourself long enough, you forget who you are, you forget your power, and you start to believe that this version of self who has self-sacrificed is the real you. And it starts to create new stories about what's possible. It starts to rewire your subconscious, and you start to lose yourself and your light. So any relationship where you feel like you have to push your own needs, your own power, your own barometer of truth and what you really want from your life and what you really deserve from your life down to keep it is not for the highest good. And I think that that is obvious on some level, but it's really sneaky on another level, especially when these patterns can be so ingrained in us, even from a level of what we witnessed in childhood. So I think this kind of goes hand in hand with this mother's energy, because I do feel like this more gruff male past loved one was her partner who she maybe had a more difficult relationship with. And there's something here about just going into the shadows, confronting things head on, and not dimming your light for other people. And so this is just so important overall, because as we're in this moment of up level and change and growth, the people that resonate with us might shift and change. What we want might shift and change. How we see the world might shift and change. And we just can't dim our light or keep ourselves small to meet other people's expectations anymore. It's time to prioritize our light. It's time to prioritize our power. It's time to prioritize our vision instead of prioritizing fear or scarcity consciousness or what other people expect from you, and hold the vision. And what I'm seeing now is that it can be so scary to walk through the dark and not knowing what's on the other side, that sometimes it feels more safe to cling on to what we know isn't working, but because the fear of what we don't know is so much stronger. But that's where this like mother energy is leading you into this womb-like energy of rebirth, and you will be loved through it instead of being met with anything else that isn't working in this comfort zone that's not serving, which is having to push your light down. Ironically, heading headfirst into the darkness of the unknown is the most light-filled act. And so the last thing that your angels were showing me was a hanged man from the tarot. They showed me that tarot card, the hanged man. And when I see that, it's this feeling of like kind of a liminal in-between space where life feels a little bit upside down and we don't know exactly what's coming yet. And a lot of things aren't exactly in our control yet, although some things are. And so the hangman energy is about seeing from new perspectives, flipping things upside down, making a new choice, being okay with the timing of how the puzzle pieces are falling together, and knowing that it's uncomfortable and vulnerable to be hanging upside down by your foot. But at the same time, how can you just find surrender there? How can you surrender to exactly where you're at and let this be a perspective shift for you? So if you're clear right now on what isn't working, but you don't exactly know what is going to fill the space yet, and you're in this kind of liminal in between, let yourself hang there for a while in the processing, the integration, the exploration, and slowly but surely this upside down place that you'll have been thrust in by either ending something or admitting something or excavating the heart space is going to give you a new perspective than if you stayed right side up attached to the tree in the way you've always been. Hanging upside down in the unknown for a little while is actually what will give you the next step or the next answer. So that's the feeling that I get, is that we're in this moment of just sort of hanging upside down, having faith in the bigger picture, and realizing that relationship with control that it always comes back to. And the hangman is like completely out of control, and that can be really scary. So try your best to trust the timing, let yourself hang a little bit, be kind to yourself, but most importantly, prioritize your light and don't be afraid to face your fears head on, because you might realize that the fear of the fear is worse than the fear itself. Anything you want to add, Claire?
Just another beautiful message that I definitely needed to hear. So thank you. I appreciate it. And
Same.
yeah, I think, we want to avoid being uncomfortable and in the crunchy, painful parts. But oftentimes, it's interesting. Sometimes I'll look back on those moments in my life with this beautiful tenderness, because it was a moment of deep connection with myself where, It was hard, but then when I get through it, I learned so much and I see that it was actually helping me grow. So I think that's a good thing to remember when we're kind of in these moments of unknown, like you said. It's like clinging on to the thing we know will give us this same result, and choosing to step into the unknown can lead us to all sorts of gifts.
Yeah, I love that so much. And it just made me think of, tying back to the episode, that idea of physical representation of internal shifts. And I feel like maybe we can implement that to this version of self that has the courage to move forward, that has the courage to make a new choice, that has the courage to heal and to step into this next level version of self. And maybe there's a way we can bring that into the physical. Maybe there's a way that we can either create a shrine to who we're becoming, or we can wear a piece of jewelry that signifies who that vision we have for ourselves. And maybe there's a way to take these more cerebral, energetic concepts and remind us in the physical world that could be really beautiful to commemorate that. And what made me think about that is when you're like, I look back on those old versions of self with like such fondness, and so we can do the same with future versions of self and create, shrines to that, or odes to that, or write poetry about that, or whatever creative process resonates. And I think looking back on past versions of ourselves with gratitude is so powerful, because I just know our future versions are looking at us right now with that same feeling.
I love that so, so much. I'm going to try doing that today.
Yeah, I think that's just such a beautiful exercise. And it's something that's in our control right now to just do that. And who knows how that will shift our energy or our perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, my loves. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful week. And remember to walk in your power always.